Hey guys, all things Apple here, and the iPod Touch 4th generation is a 7-year-old device, and it was awesome and mind-blowingly great 7 years ago. It was awesome. It was basically awesome and really cool 7 years ago. And yeah, it was the greatest thing in the world, and everyone wanted one. All the cool kids had these. And actually, before I got my first one of these, this isn't actually the iPod I had back in the day. But before I got my one, everyone bullied me for having a DS. Everyone bullied me for having a Nintendo DS. So I went out with my grandma and my mother to go and get one of these. And I absolutely harassed my parents to get me one, to get my mother and my grandma to get me one. I absolutely harassed them, and I wanted a 32GB white one, but I ended up with an 8GB black one. And then I ended up with an 8GB white one, because I accidentally broke my black one. But this one, and then the iPod I had after that was a 32GB 5th gen in blue. And this is a 32GB black 4th gen, and yeah. Is it still worth it in 2018? That video's coming up right now. Okay, the iPod Touch 4th generation was released around the same time as the iPhone 4. 4th generation was released around the same time as the iPhone 4. I have an iPhone 4, but I'm not going to bring it out here. You just have me unlock it. Yeah, I have changed the background on this one. Yeah, but this one, I actually got this as a Christmas present. Yeah, you heard right, a Christmas present. And I decided it's actually technically my property, but it's actually technically my property. It's technically my property, but I just put all things Apple property. Apple iTouch 01, Apple iTouch 401. Do not remove from all things Apple HQ. So nobody steals it. So nobody takes it away from me. And that's also on the back of the phone I'm using to record. So yeah. I have got a picture of my cat on there, so I just get into wiggle mode. Yeah, that's a picture of my cat right there. I love him so much. And the home button on this device is actually kind of broken. It's a bit temperamental, but yeah. The iPod Touch 4th generation is actually quite expensive for what it is now. But back in the day when it was released, it was actually still quite cheap. I picked up my first one of these. I picked up my first one of these for £106. I picked up my second one for £90. I managed to discount it, to get a discount on it for by £5, because the price it said on the shop thing was £95. Then I got my 5th gen as a Christmas present, but it was actually at that time the latest iPod Touch there was, until of course the iPod Touch 6th generation came out in 2015. Back in 2015. But yeah. And then of course I got this one. I had this one. But yeah. I do actually use this. And by the way, and by the way, at my uncle's house, keeping all of its details private, obviously, and yeah, it's not picking up any Wi-Fi signals out here because it's too far away from the router inside there, inside the house I just showed you. Oh, there we go. It picked some up, but they've all gone away. It picks them up, but they've all gone away. But yeah, let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's got 2 on there. But none of them are the one. Neither of them are the ones. Are the one inside the house. Neither of those are the one. Neither of those were the ones inside the house. Neither of those were the one inside the house. But yeah. So yeah. The first game I actually downloaded on my first one of these was actually Tap Tap Revenge. It was Tap Tap Revenge. Tap Revenge. Tap Tap Revenge. And that was my favourite game. I was just like this on Tap Tap Revenge. I was a demon at it. And by the time I'd actually finished playing Tap Tap Revenge, you could see loads of layers of fingerprints on the screen. You could see loads of layers of fingerprints on the screen. And yeah, everyone wanted to see me play Tap Tap Revenge. Tap Tap Revenge when I got this. Well, my first one of this. But now, but now, if you're using one of these, you're stuck on iOS 6.1.6. You're stuck on 6.1.6. And yeah. Stuck on 6.1.6. Unless you've got it on an older firmware, which is probably going to restrict you, which is probably going to make you have less app support even more. But yeah, this is all of the apps I have on it. Some of and yeah, you see that lag there? That never used to happen on iOS 6. But iOS 6, to be fair, is a very old firmware for Apple devices. And Apple are on iOS 11 now. It's on iOS 11 now, so that's 5 versions later than iOS 6. And the iPod Touch 4th generation is on this. What? Oh, it's fun. Oh, no, it hasn't. I never actually asked it to do that. That's what it's kind of doing. Oh, no, it hasn't. I never actually asked it to do that. That's what it's kind of doing. That's what it's prone to doing, actually. And the iPod Touch 4th generation is actually the iPod Touch 4th generation is actually the cheapest way to experience iOS 6. So, is iOS 6 worth it in 2018? Well, not really iOS 6. Is the iPod Touch 4th generation? Is the iPod Touch 4th generation worth it in 2018? No. No, it's not. It's not worth it. And it's okay for like nostalgia reasons and things like Facebook Messenger right there. That does not work on it. You can't get Snapchat on it just because it's on iOS 6. And actually, Facebook actually discontinued support for the iOS 6 version of Facebook Messenger recently. So, yeah, and it only works on this device because I already had it downloaded. And it won't work here because I can't connect to the internet with this. That's what I was actually trying to show you. It will not connect to the internet here. It will connect to the internet at my school, and it connects to the internet automatically when I get there. But it won't connect to the internet. Here, so that's pretty much all we've got time for in this video. That's pretty much. Oh wait. Go back. Oh, it's gone. Anyway, that's pretty much all we've got time for in this video, so you have been watching All Things Apple. This is pretty much all we've got time for. This is pretty much all we've got time for in this video, so peace. This is All Things Apple, and you have been watching All Things Apple, and this is All Things Apple signing off. Yeah, this is All Things Apple signing off.